In this episode of My Cat's Tale, let's meet Milo.
Milo just reached up and I told him, okay, yeah, that's him. He sat next to me and he put his paws over my belly. I think he knows. He would be on his towers, right, and just watching the baby. He's very curious.
Joining me now on My Cat's Tale, we have Izzy. Welcome to the show, Izzy, over there in California, where I thought it was going to be nice and sunny, but it sounds like you've got weather from Scotland.
Yes, it's been gloomy and rainy the past couple of weeks.
I love that. It makes me feel perfectly at home. And a perfect home needs cats. And Milo the cat lives with you. Tell me about Milo.
Milo is gonna be 2 years old in May, and he's a Scottish Straight cat that we got when he was only about 4 months old, I would say. My husband and I have been married for about 8 years. When we moved to our new house, and we've always thought about we'll get maybe a dog and maybe also a cat after that. But I think there was a stray cat that we saw in our camera on our outside of our door. So we started feeding that cat, and that's not Milo yet. We started feeding that cat, and another cat came, and another stray cat came, until we were feeding, I don't know, 6 cats in our backyard. And we didn't really know how that works with the neighborhood. So we started looking into it, and I had a coworker who kind of warned me about some neighbors might not be open to that. So we looked into TNR to maybe trap him, and there were kittens too. I think there were 4 kittens at that time, and 3 adult cats. So we were looking into doing that. My husband tried to trap one of them, and he said that's it. It didn't work. They all ran away. So we were trying to maybe call someone from the city and have them trapped, and maybe keep 1 or 2 of them, maybe 1. And then one day they just all disappeared, like the kittens. They were gone, and we know it's the mom cat, and she was outside our door, and she was just like asking for food or something, but she was just meowing there, and I was like, the cats are gone, the kittens are gone. And we didn't see them again until weeks later, but that was just, I don't know, it was a devastating feeling for me. And even my husband said, I don't know what happened, maybe somebody already took care of it, so he said, don't worry, we will eventually get a cat. So we looked online, and there's a website that we saw, and there's this I think it was like I can't remember what color. It almost looked like a tabby cat, or like a golden marble type cat. So we went to the house, and we were looking for that particular cat. And I think I remember they first gave us a tour of the house, and it looked like they grouped the cat. The rooms were based on the cat's ages, if that makes sense. Yeah, they were with the little kittens, and then we moved on to where the mom's rooms are, and then we moved on to where they had the cat that we wanted, and they look like teenage cats, like a little bit bigger. There's like 4 5 of them, and they were just playing. They were very active, rambunctious cats, and they were crazy. And I was telling my husband, I don't know if I could break that group, you know, they're just so happy and just they look like friends, and I don't want to just take him away from that group. And we were just there trying to decide, like, I am not getting out of this house without a cat. I'm very, very decided I want to go home with a cat. We were ready. We had our stuff ready, beds, toys, everything. And the assistant at that time, the owner wasn't there. She said, "You want me to like show you the mom and see what they look like when they grow up or things like that?" And I said, "Okay." We went back upstairs, and my husband said, "Do you want to see the cat that's on the bed?" And I said, "What cat in the bed?" And he said, "There is a cat in the bed. You didn't see?" I said, "I don't remember." He said, "There is a cat in the bed." And I said, "Okay, we'll take a look at it." And so we went back to where the little ones are. And sure enough, there's this cat who's almost camouflaged on the bed, just kitty loaf there and quiet. And he wasn't, he's definitely older than the little ones because that's where the young ones are. I'd say a couple week old kittens. That's where they were at. And he was just there, looked like a babysitter, just watching over them, just quiet. And I asked if I could pet him, and if he's one of those that we could take home. And he said, "Yeah." And I just pet him, and he just kind of responded. And I told him, "Yeah, he's cute." And my husband leaned over, and he also wanted to pet him, and so he did lean over, and Milo just reached up, and they did this nose boop kind of thing. And I told him, "Okay, yeah, that's it. We're taking, that's him, you know?" And I think it was just later on that I read somewhere that cats choose their owners, or cats choose their people. So now I believe that, because after that I said, "Yeah, that's definitely it's him." So yeah, we took him home.
So how old do you think Milo was when you brought him home?
He was 4 months.
So a little bit older, a little
Uh-huh.
bit more world weary, but ready to
Yeah.
move on then.
Yes, very.
Did he come with the name Milo, or did you choose that yourselves?
We chose the name. We didn't get to ask what he was named before that. We chose the name, no particular association whatsoever. But when we were deciding we were gonna get a cat, we said if it would be a girl, she would be named Juno. And then if it's a boy, we were like, Milo's a pretty common cat name. So we got him. So we picked the name Milo for him, which kind of was perfect, because there's a chocolate drink. I think it's also available here in US, but back home in the Philippines, it's called Milo, and it's a chocolate drink. And his color is a very light brown tan-ish. So that works out.
Yeah. What was your experience of cats before? Had you always been around cats, or was this a brave new world?
Yes, when I was little, I had 3 cats.
You knew what to expect then, did your husband?
I think he did, but they were house cats, like indoor, outdoor cats before. But we had 3 cats. But he was definitely different from what I knew as far as personalities and habits and things like that.
How was he different?
He's very smart. He's very sensitive. I think those two would be, because I know cats are just generally playful. But yes, two words would be smart and sensitive, and he's very persistent.
He's persistent. He's probably let's see, persistent. That just means he wants fed all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or if there's one thing that he wants to do, like open a cabinet, he will not stop until he figures out how to open it. Things like that.
When you say sensitive, is that like he's very emotionally in tune with you?
He's very sensitive to human emotions. And when one of us are sick, um, might have also, I'm not also sure if he already knew then that I was pregnant, because he started acting weird. He was very clingy. He started getting really just all over me, like my shoulders. He'll climb over my my shoulder. He would sit next to me and lean next to my side, and he'll sit on my lap, which he didn't really used to do before. He's also when I'm sick, I got sick with COVID when I was pregnant. He was just next to me when I'm napping. It's like he knows. And when my mother-in-law passed away, he knew something was not right. He was in the Philippines, but we were here, and he was just uh, meowing around me and my husband, just meow meow, and his tail was just up and just walking around us. So things like that, he picks up on a lot of things.
I'm so intrigued by, you think that he knew you were pregnant?
Yes, I suspected that because, like I said, those things leading up to, we didn't know yet that we were. Um, like I said, he started doing those things, and then we found out we were pregnant. And just to backtrack on that, a couple of years ago, we had a miscarriage and an ectopic pregnancy. So this particular one, when we found out we were pregnant, obviously we were very anxious. And, until we get through our doctor's appointment and tell us everything is okay, we were just, especially me, I was very anxious. And the day before our ultrasound, I have a picture to prove it, but I was just sitting in the couch and, just doing nothing. And he just sat next to me, and he put his paws over my belly, and he was just there, just chilling. And I told my husband, I think he knows. He knows, and he knows there's something there. So if anything, I think he maybe feels it, or maybe he hears it. Yeah, that definitely happened.
How did that make you feel?
Um, it was almost him telling me that it's okay. So it was definitely an emotional thing. So in a way, that made me just, okay, I think a baby is there.
And did Milo's concern, empathy, carry on throughout the pregnancy?
Oh yes, yes. He's just I we have routine. My husband and I are we have a routine. Just our schedule is the same, so any change he'll know. But yeah, when I would have my nap, he wants to just curl up next to me, but he doesn't just go. He'll do a soft meow. It's like asking permission. And then, of all places, he wants to sit, because when you're pregnant, you just want to sit on your lay down on your side. He wants to lay on the other side, like with where the belly is. I don't know, does he think that's a pillow or something? But that's where he wants to. That's where he wants to be. And he is heavy, and the baby is heavy, and I can't. You can both be there. Just be there for a few minutes, and I have to move him. And I have a lot of pictures of him throughout pregnancy, of him just, his head is just on the baby bump and on my lap. Yes, that was him the whole time. And I bought the portable Doppler, and when we would listen to the baby's heartbeat, oh, he's there. He is there, just on the couch, just listening and just walking around, like just hearing everything. So yeah, that was very interesting.
And when you brought your baby home, how was Milo like then? Because that would be a huge upheaval in the house.
Oh, yes. We've actually never left him um, alone for not even a night since we got him. So when um, we knew the baby was coming, I told my husband, you have to promise me every morning you have to check up on Milo. And even though my mom was here at that time, I told him you have to check up on him and make sure he's at least one of us in the house, so he doesn't he's not going to be looking for us too much. And he said, yeah, because the hospital is just about 5-10 minutes away. So he would do that, and we have a camera inside the house too, so I would check on him. So my husband's like, at least he can see my husband every day. But me, he didn't see me for 5 days. And yes, definitely, we were looking forward to him meeting the baby. Side note, one of the nurses one day was looking for my husband, and I said he went to check on the cat. And she said, oh, yeah, I have cats too. And you can bring home the baby's hat for the cat to smell, so that he's already familiar with it, and you can bring home the baby blanket, whatever he has, so
So
he
it's the
won't
same
be
as
new.
introducing two cats with the scent. It's like introduce the
Yeah.
cat and the baby with the scent.
Yes.
Wow.
Like, but that I didn't know that either, because I know they do that with cats too. But she said, yes, you bring home the beanie that the baby have already worn, so he'll be introduced to that scent. So that's what my husband did for a couple of days, and he let Milo play with the beanie.
And did that help when everybody came home again?
I hope so. Yeah, when we brought home the baby, he was just this curious. You can just see he wants to just smell him, but when the baby moves, he'll back away and go back and he was just circling the car seat or the carrier. He would just be walking around, and he wants to smell him. He wants to I have a picture of him with his paw just about to touch him, and he'll back away again. Yeah. He would, when the baby is sleeping we have a mini crib or like a play yard in our living room. When the baby is sleeping, he wants to lay next to him and smell him. Oh yeah, he would be on his tower is just there, his condo, and he's just upright and just watching what the baby's doing. Yes, he's very curious.
It sounds lovely just now, but was it that smooth, or did Milo just take his own time?
He was like that for a couple of weeks, maybe. Yeah, a couple weeks. And then when I'm holding the baby, he wants to smell the baby. He wants to groom the baby because he licks the baby's head. He was doing that for a little bit until I started noticing he would be under the couch where I'd be breastfeeding the baby. So I thought that was cute. Like, oh, he's just there and wants to just be with us and things like that. And then until my husband started noticing that he's eating less, and he said he didn't finish his food, but maybe he's tired of. He was still on the kitten pate before, and we were like, but he sometimes doesn't really eat it. And then suddenly he said, he didn't pee much today, things like that. And he didn't poop today. And okay, that's, maybe we can change his food. So we did, and he liked that. But there were definitely behavior changes that we started noticing, especially me, because I'm always with the baby. I'm always holding the baby. So that definitely took time away from him compared to when I was pregnant, it's just the two of us. I noticed that um, when we're eating, and he'll pass by our dining table. If I just reach down, he'll go to my hand before and he'll just bump into my head or rub into my hand. But after the baby came, when I do that, he'll just walk straight, like he didn't see me. And sometimes when I try to rub his head or just try to pet him, he's like a teenager, like don't touch me, he'll move away. And oh my goodness, that just I told my husband that is definitely not normal anymore. So those are definitely big things. And yeah, the hiding I did not know was not normal until um somebody on Twitter uh posted something about, I'm so glad my cat isn't hiding under the couch anymore. And I was like, oh, um hold on a second, is that not good? And I started looking into it, and I think it's a sign of either a cat is sick or depressed or stressed or anxious. So I told my husband, oh, we need to do something because he's not usual. That's not his usual behavior.
So how did you talk to him then? I mean, Milo, not your husband.
Yeah. So I looked into how to help with coping, and apparently they are big into changes in routine. Like moving is, I think, the number one cause of stress. Um, and baby and other cats. So um, during that time, we changed his food. So yes, he started eating more. Um, it was also around that time that he was due for his vet visit. So we took him and we told the vet what was happening, and he said, "Oh yeah, cats definitely take time to adjust. They take longer than dogs, apparently." And I think I was just expecting that he was just gonna bond with the baby right away, and he'll be fine after that. But that was already, I think, 4 months. My baby's already 4 months, and he still hasn't quite adjusted yet. And they said, "Oh yeah, it takes some time, and you just have to let him do it in his own time." But yes, he told us, he gave us like pointers or tips, like play with him, spend more time with him. We used the Feliway diffuser and spray. So I started spraying Feliway under the couch. I have the plug-in. The playing, definitely we got back to that a little bit more. My husband would take turns in doing that. Yeah, because my husband also, of course, got busy with the baby too. So he started spending more time with Milo again, brushing his hair, things like that. What else did we do? Oh, I remember. When we would get out of the room in the morning, when we wake up and we call Milo, we make sure he smells the baby. And we greet him with the baby in my hands, in my arms.
And Milo is over everything now. He's back to himself.
Yes, he's been doing much better. Once in a while, I see him under the couch recently, but that is if I didn't have enough time to spend with him, because I've been on and off going to work during the day for some education stuff. But yeah, he's been good. He's been playful. He's been back to once in a while sleeping on my lap, because before he did not want to do that. Yes, he does that head bump again when he passes by the kitchen table. And I make sure when he does that, I make sure I rub I pet him when he's on my he rubs his body against my legs. I make sure I give him attention. So yeah, he's been good. He's also
just
been
a teenager.
Yes, I was looking into the years and I told myself, oh yeah, I think he's like acting like that. Like a teenager who all of a sudden had a baby brother at home.
How is he around the baby now?
He's good with the baby. When he would before we had the playpen, we had just the open play mat. He would go to the baby and smell the baby, and when I'm not looking, I know he's doing that. He would do that. When we're napping, he would be not right next to us, but in the same couch with us. He'll go there. I let him sleep on the blanket that we would normally use for when we're napping, and he'll sleep there, and we have our own. Um, Sometimes he's just gonna be on the TV console, just looking over the baby. Now I'm letting the baby just we're doing this practice because the baby wants to touch him for sure. And I just hold the baby's hand and let him just pet him gently, not with the palm, but the other side, so he doesn't grab his fur. The other side, and he'll do that. And now Milo also just rubs his chin against the baby's hand. So that's very sweet.
It sounds like bliss.
Oh,
Everybody all
finally.
together and happy and just
Yeah.
that family feeling in a way that only cats can offer us.
I know. That's right. Yes. I think that was my goal, that for them to finally, hopefully, have that bond. Oh,
And that bond now is going to be there for years and years and years.
I hope
Izzy,
so.
it's been a delight to hear about Milo's tale and about your tale and your family's tale. Thanks for coming on the show and telling us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to My Cat's Tale, a Spence Media production. Listen to more tales of our perfect pets at mycatstalepod.com and support us on Patreon.